Hi, if you're in the market for new kitchen appliances, especially if you're doing kitchen up and you're not really sure whether to go for freestanding appliances or integrated appliances, then you're not on your own because it can be really confusing within the market. So what I've done is I've come up with 8 different things to consider before buying either the integrated or freestanding appliances. Just before I start, I would appreciate it if you subscribe to my YouTube channel. Just give us a quick thumbs up, click subscribe. What I do is I talk about household appliances mainly. I do specialise in vacuums as well, and there's normally a bit of tech in there. So first of all, what do I mean by freestanding and integrated appliances? So a freestanding appliance is like a normal washing machine, fridge, freezer, cooker. That's just where you can see the unit and it's all on display. With an integrated appliance, like these ones here, this is an integrated fridge freezer, and with this you've got the main fridge freezer is behind the furniture door. So that's really what's referred to as an integrated appliance. So it's integrated to within the furniture cabinet. When it comes to dishwashers, you've normally got the choice of either fully integrated, like this one here, where you can't see any of the dishwasher. The furniture door covers all of it. Or there is something called semi-integrated, and that's where you can actually see the control panel at the top. And I suppose the main advantage of that is that you can still see all the display and all the controls at the top there. We do tend to find not many people go for semi-integrated. It's almost going against the grain of having integrated appliances, especially if you've got them in a nice neat row. But anyway, the semi-integrated market is pretty small now, and normally people going for the semi-integrated are replacing older items. So this list is in no particular order, and I suppose for some people, some of the aspects I talk about will be more important than the others. But anyway, number 1 on the list is the look of the appliances. Clearly, if you've got a row like this of integrated appliances behind your nice smart furniture doors, then that is going to look brilliant. A lot of people don't like to have appliances on show, especially over, I'd say, the last 10-15 years. Integrated appliances have become a lot more popular. Plus, what you will find is that if you're going for freestanding appliances, especially different colours, things like silver, then you will find that the manufacturers will normally vary the colours of their appliances. And what I mean by that is if you were going for, say, a silver Samsung fridge freezer and then a silver Bosch washing machine, because the manufacturer's colours will vary slightly, if you got them sat next to each other, it can look a little bit odd. Now, some people won't really be fussed, especially if you've got, say, your fridge freezer on one side of the kitchen and your washing machine and dishwasher the other side. They might not be too fussed, but if you have got them next to each other, that's just something to consider. And what you can find, which gets really frustrating, that sometimes the manufacturer's silver washing machine doesn't match the silver fridge freezer. So even though they're the same manufacturer, the silver colours don't quite match up when they're sat next to each other, even though they should do. And that can be for many reasons. It could, first of all, I suppose, be a batch that could be slightly different colour, especially if you get it in a certain light. But also, I suppose the main reason is a lot of appliances are made across the world. So you could have, say, the washing machines made in one country, fridge freezer made in another, and the colour that they're using isn't quite the same. But from a customer's point of view, that can be really frustrating. Number 2, next thing to consider is the installation of the product. Now, clearly on a freestanding washing machine, fridge freezer, they're really easy to install. Your washing machine, you just take your transit bolts out on the back, there's normally 4 of them, put your waste hose in, connect your water up, away you go. Fridge freezer, even easier, unpack it, level it up, put it into place, and away you go. With integrated appliances, it's not quite as easy. So with a fridge freezer, for example, there's a lot to think about. I have done a separate video on integrated fridge freezers. I'll just post a link here. You've got a huge number of things to think about even before you buy the fridge freezer. First of all, what type of hinge is it? Is it a sliding hinge or fixed hinge? And what I mean by that, this is a sliding hinge mechanism. So this furniture door is actually screwed to the main cabinet. It's not actually screwed onto the main fridge freezer itself. If you've got a fixed hinge, then that means that the furniture door is screwed onto the fridge door itself. So that's one thing to consider. The next thing is the ratio. Is it 50-50, 70-30, 60-40? You need to have a measure of the doors to make sure that one you're looking at will fit. So again, there's quite a few things to consider, and I know you do when you're buying your freestanding appliance, but there's a lot less to think about. Things like installation costs will vary a huge amount. Things like integrated dishwashers and washing machines, like the two appliances we've got here, they are easier to install than a fridge freezer. Clearly you've only got one door on there, so there's a lot less skill needed to install the dishwasher properly compared to a fridge freezer. But nevertheless, when it comes to installing it, it is recommended, especially if you're not too confident doing it, getting someone in to do it properly. Because what you will find is if you've got a row of appliances, say if you've got a dishwasher, washing machine, fridge and a freezer, if you've got them all in a row, you want it to look smart. You want it to look nice, especially if it's a new kitchen where you spent a lot of money on it. So get a professional in to come and do it, because there's nothing worse, and I have seen it myself, where people have tried to install appliances themselves and the doors are not quite straight or a bit wonky, sticking out, and it just looks a bit messy. Number 3 in the list is the technology within the products. Now, I'm not saying that one is better than the other, either freestanding or integrated, because what you will find is that some manufacturers will put more technology into certain categories. This is an oven that we do really, really well with. We can't get enough of them. This is one of the Neff ovens, and this offers a unique feature called slide and hide. Now, this feature has been around for years, and it's still something that we get asked for, and that's the reason we sell a lot of these. You'll find that the door disappears under the oven, so it just makes life a whole lot easier when you're taking the tray out. And especially if you're, for example, disabled, if you struggle with if you have the oven door here, then that can make life really difficult as well. So thankfully Neff came up with this solution several years ago, and as I say, that's only on the integrated ovens. At the moment that technology is mainly in the integrated appliances. Neff don't make any freestanding cookers at the moment, but if there were, and if they were to do something similar to that, that could be a real winner for them. This is a feature that several manufacturers offer. It's a feature called Time Light. When you've got an integrated appliance like this, clearly you can see that within here you can see the time remaining of the program, and you select the program. But what you don't know, when it's actually in operation, you don't know how long the program is going to take or the time remaining of the program. So what they do is, once you've started the program, on the floor here, it will just show the time remaining. It's a little LED light that's shining onto the floor. Now that feature alone enables us to sell a lot of the higher end dishwashers, because it's just giving you more information, especially like that. That program is going to take around 4 hours. So I'm a lot more informed as to how long that will take, and I've got the choice of whether to carry that on or if I wanted to wait till the program to finish. Number 4 is the price of the appliances. Now, for some people, if you're doing a whole kitchen out and if you've almost got a budget for the whole kitchen, it's probably slightly less relevant, especially if you're really leaning towards having a really sleek look within the kitchen. But when it comes down to individual appliances, once you start to price things up, then you will notice that the majority of integrated appliances are a bit more expensive. I know it does vary a huge amount depending on which brands you're looking at, what end of the market you're looking at. You can get some, say, integrated dishwashers for around the same price as freestanding dishwashers. But generally, as you start to creep up to medium, especially the higher end of the market, then some of the higher end appliances integrated can be a bit more expensive. Number 5 in my list, what happens if something goes wrong with the appliance? Now, I know hopefully you're thinking, well, it's a brand new appliance, I don't want it to go wrong, and clearly you don't want it to go wrong. But things happen. Reliability on some products can be a little bit iffy sometimes, and if it does go wrong, what you need to think, who's going to pay for the repair of it? If it's under the manufacturer's warranty, clearly the manufacturer will come out and sort it out, whether it's a freestanding or integrated appliance. The main thing that we have on the very rare occasion is that if an appliance can't be repaired within the manufacturer's warranty, then what you'll find is that the repair agent or the manufacturer will say, just go back to the retailer, here's an uplift number, and then go and get it swapped over. That's okay on a freestanding appliance, say a fridge freezer, washing machine, tumble dryer. We will just go out, replace it, and then just go and deliver the new one and install it. That's not an issue. When it comes to integrated appliances, it's not quite as easy, because often, especially if you're paying another agent to go and install it, then what you can find is that with an integrated appliance, who pays for it? Is it the customer? Well, not really, because it's not their fault that the product's gone wrong. Is it the retailer? Well, not really, because it's not their product that has gone wrong. And is it the manufacturer? There's always a grey area as to who pays for that service of redelivering, reinstalling the product and bringing it back. So all I would say is, before you buy any integrated appliances, if you're buying it from a retailer, just check to see what their policy is on that. Number 6 on the list, what happens if you move house? If you've got a freestanding washing machine, dishwasher, fridge freezer, they're quite easy just to unplug, take the pipes off, pop them in the removal van, and away you go. With integrated appliances, it's not as easy as that. So what you can find, if you spent quite a lot of money on the appliances, chances are, if it's integrated, then you will leave them. But that's just something to consider, because I know what some people are doing is that if they're doing the kitchen up, but if they're thinking of moving in, say, a couple of years, then they might go for freestanding because they're thinking about the future a bit more and they might want to take them with them. Number 7 on the list, you will find there's a lot less choice when it comes to the integrated appliances compared to freestanding appliances. Now, for some people, they don't like too much choice, but if there are certain programs on the washing machine or certain features on the dishwasher that you want, then you might find that you might need to go over to the freestanding market to get some of those features. Number 8, and finally, the noise level of the appliances. Now, on the whole, there's not normally a lot between the two, whether it's freestanding or integrated. Especially as you go to the higher end of the market, then some of the noise levels can be very quiet. But what you can find, when you've got an appliance behind a furniture door, that can make a huge difference, can make it a lot quieter. So just have a look at the noise levels, and what you really want to find out is whether that noise level is with or without the door on. Sometimes what we find is if people have had integrated appliances and they realise some of these issues when it comes to the installation, the cost, also things like repairs can be a little bit more difficult, that what they want to do is they want to go from an integrated, for example, washing machine over to a freestanding appliance. Now, sometimes it might be a case of just taking the appliance out, but some people think it's quite simple, and it can be if you know what you're doing. But what you need to do is you need to have a measure up to make sure that the space that you've got within the carcass, that it will fit in okay. You do need to make sure that the kickboard along the bottom, you'll have a kickboard that runs along the bottom of all the appliances, that will need to be cut as well. So what you need to do is to have a look just to make sure that the appliance will fit in. Other times we've had the other way around, where people have had freestanding appliances and they want to go and put an integrated appliance in. That's not quite as simple, because you do need to make sure that the, for example, the dishwasher or washing machine, whatever you're going to put in, is secured in place properly. So I hope you found it interesting, the 8 things to consider before buying either freestanding or integrated appliances. There is a lot to think about, especially when you're looking at all of the market. You know, whether it's things like ovens, fridge freezers, dishwashers, washing machines, tumble dryers. There's a whole lot to think about. It's not just a quick thinking, especially if you're doing up your kitchen, then even more to think about. But what I've tried to do is hopefully cover the basics, and it's just giving you a rough idea. I would appreciate it if you subscribe to my YouTube channel. Just give us a quick thumbs up. If you've got any questions on the appliances or other things that you think I've missed, then again, pop it in the comments and I'll get back to you. Thanks for watching.